I'm Joe Weider. I am known as trainer of the champion since 1936. In this video, I've had one of my champions tell you exactly how to build your body. They're telling you exactly the methods and the techniques that they use to build their body, because I want you to learn from them and put methods of the champions to work for you, because I want you to succeed. Listen to them, study this tape, apply the methods, and stick to it and be consistent. You will succeed. Go for it.
Hi, I'm Bill Dobbins from Muscle and Fitness magazine. Training shoulders can be a lot more difficult than many bodybuilders realize. For one thing, the shoulder is the most mobile and therefore the most vulnerable joint in the body, which can substantially increase the risk of injury. For another, the primary exercise for developing the deltoids, pressing heavy weights straight up overhead, is a relatively unnatural one. Just think of how rarely the need arises in daily life to lift something heavy over your head. Lenda Murray has what is generally acknowledged as the best deltoid development in the sport of women's bodybuilding. But Lenda admits that, at least as far as she's concerned, shoulder training has always been the most natural thing in the world.
Genetically, I've always had great shoulders. Never had a problem with shoulders.
Lenda, not everybody has your genetics for shoulder development. However, they would probably end up doing the same basic exercises that you do. How would you tell them to structure their program differently from the way you structure yours?
First of all, you want to make sure that you're training them effectively. You want to make them your priority. For example, you wouldn't go and train another body part before you trained your shoulders. You want to make sure that you don't overtrain the shoulders. You're not doing 50 reps. You want to make sure also that you're giving your shoulders enough time to rest. That's very important, because that's one of the keys. A lot of times people overtrain, or either they're undertraining. You want to give it just the right amount of attention, as well as you want to make sure that you're eating properly. You have to eat a lot of good food in order to grow or to get that development.
Many people believe that bodybuilders are not really athletes. Lenda disagrees adamantly. Furthermore, working hard at any sport, she believes, is good preparation both physically and mentally for what it takes to succeed in bodybuilding.
My athletic background had a great deal to do with me being Miss Olympia. It prepared me as far as the discipline, hard work, being able to go in the gym, train hard. It gave me a foundation as far as the muscle. Because I was a cheerleader, I did a lot of gymnastics, so I had a strong back, strong arms, and I ran track and field, so I had the quadriceps and the hamstrings, and I had some calves there. But it helped a great deal. It laid that foundation for me being where I'm at today. When I first started bodybuilding, I was in great shape. Actually, I had a physique that when I first walked in the gym, people assumed that I had done a lot of weight training. That's one of the reasons, probably the first year I spent just going in the gym and probably doing aerobic activity and doing things like abdominals and maybe doing a couple exercises to tighten my hips. They just said, why are you wasting your time just doing aerobics? You ought to really seriously think about weight training, because your physique, you look like a bodybuilder and you have this natural muscle there. My purpose in the gym at the time was not to be a bodybuilder, just to go in and do what most women do, stay in shape and tone up.
Of course, most people who do bodybuilding training will probably never want to compete. But Lenda believes that muscle is muscle, and competitors and non-competitors should be training basically alike. As part of that program, Lenda recommends a cycle consisting of 3 days on, 1 day off, with 1 weight training session a day, plus a second session devoted to aerobic training.
The first day is upper body, and I train chest, shoulders, and triceps. And I would do also abdominals on that day. The second day, I train my legs, and I do my quadriceps and my hamstrings together. And the third day would be back and biceps. Fourth day, I take off, and then I repeat that cycle. I like to do my aerobics in the evening. It's for around 45 minutes. And that's usually bike or Stairmaster. And sometimes I like to mix it up to have a variety. I make sure that I don't do my calves on the same day that I train legs. Calves would fall on my back day. Abdominals, chest day. More work, two sides, right?
The deltoids are a three-headed muscle that originates in the area of the clavicle and inserts into the upper arm. The basic function of the deltoids is to lift the arm. The anterior head lifts to the front, the medial head to the side, and the posterior head to the rear.
When I see great shoulders on a bodybuilder, usually they're very full, they're well developed from the front to the back. If they're on a diet, for example, I can see the separation in the shoulders. That's what really makes it complete. Remember, there's three heads to the deltoid: front, middle, and the rear, and you have to train all three.
Lenda stresses the fundamentals and sticks pretty much to the basic exercises. She also emphasizes feel rather than simply throwing heavy weights around, training the muscles with weights rather than weightlifting.
I use lightweight when I train my shoulders because I want to have control. I want to feel each rep. I don't want to have to cheat and do this movement here. I see a lot of people rocking throughout the full set. I may rock, towards the end of the set, but during the set, I want control. I want to be able to just raise the weight to the side and have the control, whereas when I'm at the top of the movement, I can almost stop here. I don't want to be able to just stop and hold it there, because if so, then the weight's too light. But I want the control throughout the movement where I can feel the weight and concentrate on every rep.
Lenda uses all kinds of equipment in her training: free weights, cables, and machines. But when it comes to building basic muscle mass, she believes there is no substitute for barbells and dumbbells.
There's definitely a difference as far as using dumbbells, free weights, compared to doing cable rows or cable pull downs. You're in total control when you're using free weights. Free weights mean that you can position the weight and maneuver it and do it, in a different manner. Compared to cable rows, you have the freedom with free weights to hit that same body part in a different manner.
Plus, you're lifting a fairly heavy weight. There's something very basic about that.
Yeah, you're in total control. It's just you and that weight. I feel that free weights are definitely mass-building exercise for shoulders. Make sure you always use control throughout this exercise. The basic mass-building exercise that I use for shoulders is dumbbell shoulder presses. And what I like about working with dumbbells compared to working with a barbell is the freedom that you have. For one, you know that each arm is working independently, and you have more room to move throughout the exercise and feel the shoulders more. You're not restricted to just one position. You can use a lot of control throughout that exercise also, going to the top and not clinging the weights together, and you can even bring the weight down a little bit more compared to using the barbell.
It's important, Lenda explains, to feel the shoulders rotating during this movement rather than pressing the weight straight up and down and using too much triceps effort. Again, as with all of Lenda's training, the operative word is feel.
I try to demonstrate control throughout the movement, even at the top here, not touching the dumbbells, demonstrating control there, and here, really feeling. You can really feel the deltoids. It's important. Because everything I do when I weight train is based on feel. Warming up is essential.
Dumbbell presses are a two-joint exercise. That is, they involve both movement of the shoulder joint and the elbow as well, which means the triceps are working during the movement as well as the deltoids. Laterals, on the other hand, are a one-joint movement in which only the shoulder joint itself is involved. This allows for much greater isolation and concentration of effort on the deltoids themselves.
What I like about dumbbell side laterals for shoulders is that you're working with free weights and you have a lot of control. You can bring the weight to a certain point and stop right where you feel it. I just think that's a great exercise that works the middle of the deltoid. I like to use the weight and have it directly to my side and bring it up to shoulder height. Some people bring the weight in front of them and they use a swinging motion instead of having the control and standing upright with the weights to your side and raising the dumbbell instead of rocking and swinging and cheating, basically. I don't use a very heavy weight. I use a weight that I can control throughout the movement. Last set, so it's the toughest one. Last set, best set. Concentrate. Good form. Make my shoulders lift, raise the weight. Good control. Squeeze it. Feel. Feel it right here at the top. Squeeze. Good control. Feel the shoulders working. Come on, lift. Squeeze. Imagining my shoulders on stage, squeeze. Good. Stretch, good control. Lift, squeeze. It's hard. 4 more. Up, raise. 3 more. Up, squeeze. 2 more. Come on. 2 more. Come on, 2. Yes. Lift. Really feel my shoulders here. Ooh. You want a serious burn? Try side laterals.
Bent over laterals are just what the name implies, lateral raises done in a bent over position, which forces the rear or posterior head of the deltoid to do most of the work.
The difference with bent over lateral raises compared to standing up and doing them to the side is that you're working the rear of the deltoid compared to standing upright, doing them to the side, you're working the middle part of the deltoid. And if you want a complete look to your deltoids, you want to make sure that you hit all areas of the delts. You want to make sure you bring the weight out, not directly or to your side or behind you, trying to hit the rear deltoid. When you bring the weight back, you tend to work more of the lats instead of the rear delt. I also like to do this exercise standing in this position instead of actually sitting down because I feel more crunched up or more restricted. Just make sure you bring that weight out, working that rear delt and not the lats. Technique is fine. The important thing is you have to do the work. You gotta do it.
free weights build basic mass and strength better than machines because the body is programmed by nature to respond more to actual weight than simply to resistance. But machines have unique benefits of their own as part of a complete program of bodybuilding training.
I like using machines to train the deltoids. It also supports your back, and you can probably use more weight in that position than you can using the free weight. You can get a different range of motion with the machine compared to with the free weight. Another advantage of training with machine is that you can isolate muscles. Usually you get on the machine and you're going to isolate. It's going to be that specific area of the muscle that you're working. You have to learn to feel the muscle, know what muscle you're actually training and if that muscle is actually doing the work. Continuous tension.
Lateral raises done with cables are a one-joint isolation movement much like dumbbell laterals. They are at the same time very different.
The difference with doing exercises for delts cable compared to doing it with free weights is that I'm continuously putting tension on the muscle throughout the movement. So from this point here, all the way throughout, there's continuous tension on the muscle. Whereas with a free weight dumbbell, you have points where the tension's not there. So actually I'm doing the Weider continuous tension principle here.
When bodybuilders talk about no pain, no gain, they aren't referring to the pain of injury, but to the burn you feel when lactic acid begins to accumulate in the muscle as you work it with high intensity.
You're looking for a burn here. You want that burn. If you're not getting that, then you're not working the muscle. You're not making things happen. And that's the whole principle here with weight training, is to make something happen. I want to change the physique, make it grow. I want to know that it's working, so I look for that burn. Without that burn, then I know I need to increase the weight, I need to do something to get that feel.
Using cables, you can do laterals in a wide variety of positions, each of which hits the muscles a little differently.
You can do a movement where you're bended, you're in a different position here, out. You can switch, do it from the rear, here. Kind of makes it interesting, not so boring sometimes. You get bored doing the same exercises over and over again. Always want to keep that form good. I see a lot of people rocking and doing this motion here. I want to have control throughout the movement. That's what's important here. So yes, you can do this exercise in different positions. It's a great exercise. I can feel that tension on the muscle throughout the movement. Only hard work will do it.
The front delts tend to be involved in a number of different movements, including barbell, dumbbell, and machine shoulder presses, as well as flat and incline bench presses. Because of this, Lenda doesn't do any specific exercises for her front delts during the off-season, but uses front dumbbell raises pre-contest to increase front delt separation.
Here you want to make sure that you alternate and go right in the middle instead of taking the weight and going to the side. Now, I wouldn't do this exercise in the same deltoid routine with dumbbell presses because it's working the same body part. You want to make sure using good form. And remember, when you do the exercise straight over to the right side here, you're working more of the side of the deltoid. Make sure I stretch that body part good.
Experts in weight training are always stressing the importance of stretching for prevention of injury. But according to Lenda, stretching also has an effect on the look of the physique.
Always stretch between each and every set. Gives me great separation in my delts. So when I diet, I can see all of the muscles. It's always important to stretch. Helps prevent soreness as well. When you stretch, you definitely get more muscle separation. There's no doubt about it. I've noticed a drastic change in my physique over the years when I incorporated stretching into my workouts. It's very important.
Lenda trains on a 3-day on, 1-day off training cycle. On day 1, she works the pushing muscles, chest, shoulders, and triceps, as well as her abs. Day 2 is legs, both quadriceps and hamstrings. She works the pulling muscles on day 3, back and biceps, and her calves. She likes to get her weight training done early in the day and does 45 minutes of aerobics on a stair climber, treadmill, or stationary bike in the evening. Lenda starts off her workout with dumbbell presses, since she prefers free weights for mass building. She does a warm-up set with light weight and high reps, then does sets of 12, 10, and 10 reps, increasing weight each set. Dumbbell laterals are a primary one-joint shaping exercise for the side delts. Lenda does a warm-up set, then sets of 12, 10, and 10 reps, increasing weight each set. Lenda does bent-over laterals using very strict technique to develop the rear deltoids. She does 4 sets of 12, 12, 10, and 8 reps, increasing weight each set. Machine presses allow Lenda to combine heavy weight with strict technique. She does 4 sets of 12, 10, 10, and 8 reps, increasing weight each set. Cable laterals give the maximum in range of motion and continuous tension, 2 important weighter intensity training principles. Lenda does 4 sets of 12, 10, 10, and 10 reps, increasing weight each set. Pre-contest, Lenda uses front dumbbell raises to maximize front delt separation. She does 4 sets of 12, 12, 10, and 10 reps, increasing weight each set.
Being a bodybuilder in Detroit, Michigan is definitely different than being one in Los Angeles or in New York. Michigan's a very conservative state. Things are pretty basic there. And for a woman to want muscles, people thought, you have to be out of your mind, or, why do you want muscles? Even my family had a problem with it at first. And there's nothing there to motivate me to stay in shape. It's an advantage living in California. Here, there's a lot to motivate me to stay in shape, because when I walk in the gym, even if it's off season, I'm not preparing for a competition, people see me and they're constantly aware if I'm in shape, if I'm not. You wake up in the morning, it's sunny, and jump in your car, you can walk to the gym. You're motivated, you want to train.